Welcome to the What's Your Ceiling podcast. We're your hosts, Monte, Wyatt, and Paul Scieszinski. Wherever you are in life, there is a higher ceiling. This podcast is how you become aware of it and how to take action to push through it. It's time to discover your ceiling. Welcome to the What's Your Ceiling podcast. I'm Monte Wyatt.
I'm Paul Scieszinski.
And welcome. We're here to talk about your health, family, and business. Today we've got a wonderful guest. She's been a ballerina, she's been an executive, and now she's CEO of the West Des Moines Chamber. She's got all kinds of amazing stories, and we're looking forward to having a great conversation. We have Katherine Harrington joining us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Paul and Monte. This is great. Very excited.
It's going to be a great time. And before we get in discussion, Paul's got a little announcement to make.
Yes, for you achievers and people out there, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you like this podcast, please give us a thumbs up. We also coming up May 5th and 6th, we're going to be in Omaha, Nebraska at the Berkshire Hathaway meeting. So anybody out there want to email us at wycmediapod@gmail.com. We'll be able to pass on where we're going to do a meetup. We're also going to be doing some interviews, and we're going to have a live podcast on May 5th between, I believe, 3 and 5. So we look forward to seeing you in Omaha if you can make it.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's going to be a fun event, and we're going to see a lot of new businesses there that they're investing in and what they're doing, and we're going to have some good interviews while we're there as well. So
yes, we're excited.
Very good. Well, thank you for that. And as I said, we're What's Your Ceiling podcast. We talk about your health, family, and business. And we always start with a little topic, and I think it really relates to our guest today as well, creating momentum. And creating momentum is what begins a lot of things. And so I'm going to start with Katherine this time. When you hear the phrase creating momentum, what comes to mind for you?
You know, that's one of my favorite words. It's actually a word that a lot of entrepreneurs use, and I love the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We work with businesses and brand new businesses every day. So momentum is about accelerating the best that you have, right? And you're talking about your 3 pillars of your podcast in your family, your business life, your work life. So momentum really drives where you end up. And keeping that momentum is critical. You don't want to back down. I love that word momentum because things start to build on each other and they keep growing and growing and growing. It's like a big snowball rolling down that hill, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So momentum is something that we do every day at the Chamber as we're creating new programs and filling needs for the community and our businesses. So it's a fabulous word, my favorite.
Oh, yeah, love that. Paul, how about you? When you hear creating momentum, what comes to mind to you?
Well, when I think creating momentum, it's about a group of high energy, passionate people getting together that's moving something forward. And when that momentum gets going, there's not anybody can stop you. So momentum is a great word. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think it takes a leader to start momentum. And oftentimes people don't have momentum because they haven't put in the effort and they haven't identified how are we going to create and get this movement going. But once you get the momentum, it makes us look better than what things really are, and it keeps us going faster and faster and faster, and then you can't stop it. That's the power of momentum. But you got to start it at some point, and it takes a great leader to start momentum.
It does. Absolutely.
And so I think we have one of those leaders with us today. So Katherine, really appreciate your insight. And I really want to have a good conversation and hear some stories of how you've helped the community and through the Chamber and different activities that you're doing. But I do want to start off, and I want to hear about being a ballerina. You were telling us just a few stories as you walked in, but I want to hear, how did that change your mindset, and how did that get you out of your comfort zone? And our name of our podcast is What's Your Ceiling. How did that break you through maybe beliefs or skills that you never thought you could break through?
Yeah, and it's just like anything that's athletic or in the arts. It's what you put into it is directly correlated with what you get out of it, right? So if you put all of the energy and training and time into being a great ballerina, let's say, you are going to be a great ballerina. It's just how much devotion do you have to take that time and make that promise to yourself, I'm going to be great, right? And just like in sports, you're only as great as how good are your practices, how good are you treating yourself, so I really feel like it helped me understand that I can do anything once I put my mind to it. honestly. And I liked being a ballerina because I could see results. So if I had a goal, I'm like, okay, for instance, great story, I don't have pretty feet. And as a ballerina, that is terrible. You need pretty feet as a ballerina, and they need to be arched, it's called. And my arch was very flat. So a flat-footed ballerina is not very pretty on stage. And so I had a physical problem. So what I would do is I'd put my feet underneath every piece of furniture I could find at my house. Maybe it's a chair or a couch, and try to stretch my ligaments to create an arch. So I would literally destroy my feet and my ligaments, which caused some problems, of course, because
Right.
I'm manipulating my body to an extreme where it doesn't really like it, but I don't care, because I'm going to be a ballerina, right? I'm going to be the best ballerina with the prettiest feet that you've ever seen in your life. And so I literally did, over the years of stretching my metatarsal, it's called, I literally created a bump on the top of my foot. So it's about really, okay, I can do anything if I put my mind to it, if I practice every day. And that's at breaking that ceiling. That's how you break it. You got to take the time. And it might be 24/7, but by golly, if it's something you want, you got to go after it.
Yes.
I love how you said you got to practice every day, and whether you're a ballerina or whether you're in business, you've got to make sure that you're putting in the effort and the time and the practice.
Yep. It's not just going to come to you.
No,
And
it won't.
I feel like some people think it will just flow to you, but it doesn't work like that. You actually have to put the time in. Yeah, you got to work your ass off. Can I say ass on this? Is that
Yes,
okay?
you can. You
Okay,
just
good.
did.
Okay, good. Okay.
Well, it's a physical. It's physical. People don't realize how physical it is, because it's your legs, your hips. It takes on a lot. And you've not only did you do it, you've done it all over the United States, and you eventually ended up at the Big Apple.
I did.
Which is pretty cool, New York City, and you spent some time there.
I did, and I love being in New York City. It really, so many people I've never seen in my life from different countries, different how do you say that?
Ethnicities.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'll have you say that. And I actually worked with Alvin Ailey. I was on scholarship at Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and they're primarily, if you know about dance, they're primarily a black dance company, but I was the white person, right? I was like the token white person. So it was absolutely incredible to be immersed in that culture and those folks and those people. And that's really where I gained my love for minorities and minority businesses and people from all around the world, different cultures, different ways of thinking. It was just really cool. It was a really cool experience.
It's always good to get another perspective, and you realize we're all in it for one thing, it's to better ourselves, and that's a great place you went to, in New York City.
Yeah, New York City.
So you're in the ballerina space, and then you decide you really have some history in the publishing and newspapers. Just tell us a little bit of how that evolved, and I think you went back to that at a time.
I did. So I grew up in a small town called Mattoon, Illinois, and my grandfather started the daily paper there. My dad ran the paper for 45 years as publisher. My mom was a writer. She had a column as well in the newspaper. So I grew up, in the newspaper business as a little tot, and loved it. Loved the excitement and all the collaboration and being at the center of the news and what was going on, because I love excitement. So I always wanted to know what was going on. But after I hung up my ballet shoes, I had worked in a number of different publishing organizations. I went to journalism school at University of Illinois, majored in advertising and marketing, but then had worked at Crane Chicago Business in Chicago, the San Diego Business Journal in San Diego. I started my own magazine business because I really loved entrepreneurs and technology and biotech. And so I started a technology magazine called the T Sector San Diego. And we were killing it. We did a great job. But 9/11 happened, and the bottom fell out of the tech market, and the magazine had to fold, unfortunately. But we had 23 employees at our height, worked our tails off, award-winning, just in 4 short years. But moved to Des Moines, Iowa, and worked at the Business Record for 15 years and DSM magazine. So loved that experience.
Now you were in sales when you started the business record, right?
Yes, I've always been on the sales side, always. So that's where my dad was always too. So I just kind of followed in my father's footsteps, not so much on the editorial, but the sales side, talking to businesses, talking to advertisers, which I loved because you get to know their business. What are they working on? What are their pains? What are they struggling with? How can advertising help? How can marketing help? Branding, positioning. So I really loved talking to businesses of all sizes, which is why I love the chamber work, because I'm doing the same thing, just in a different way, right? So, yeah.
What was the biggest thing as you're in sales? And this can be from any time you've been in sales. What's the biggest thing biggest impact that you love out of sales?
Ooh, that's so easy. The relationships.
The relationships.
The relationships, yeah. And all my friends are people that I first connected with because I said, hey, I've got an idea for you. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. And let's meet. And, they become my friends. They become my family, right? So it's about the relationships, and actually seeing things work is so satisfying too. Having them say, that campaign idea that you came up with worked. That's great. I'm like, yay. Because sometimes you don't know if these campaigns are going to work. And I love not just, back when I was selling ads, it's not just about selling ads. You're actually creating ideas. You're creating ways for them to brand. And a lot of times I would come up with campaign slogans, new logo ideas, campaign ideas, ways to position their business, helping look at the competition, what can they do differently to help position themselves differently. So I love branding and marketing. I love that stuff so much. So.
I liked your story. You were talking about, you're getting back into the business world, and you made a phone call to a lady, and that's a great story because I would like for you to tell that story, because I think the people out there in Achievers realize that if you want to get out there and make it happen, you can do it. And could you tell that story, how you started with the business record?
Yeah. So we moved here from San Diego, which was a big switch, big change, obviously. And I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. That didn't work out. I get bored easily. I need 20 things to juggle with, or I'm just not a happy camper. So I called Connie Weimer, who owns Business Publications Corporation, and I didn't know her, and showed her my resume, and she was like, "Wow, you've got such great experience. What are you doing in Des Moines?" I said, "Well," told her the story, and she said, "Well, unfortunately, I have nothing for you, Katherine. I'm so sad." She goes, "But I have a phone and a desk. How would that be?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take a phone and a desk. Absolutely, sign me up." So with a phone and a desk, I became the #1 sales producer when I left there, which was 15 years. So I had a lot of time to build a territory, granted, and started a line of products for them called Innovation Iowa Magazine. It's a weekly email newsletter, a yearly awards event, and also, goodness gracious, a magazine, a beautiful Innovation Iowa magazine. So I really loved it, and I was director of innovation when I left. I had had a lot of titles during my tenure, but that was my last title when I left.
That's interesting. You show up, you got a desk, and you have a phone, and then probably the yellow pages.
At that time, right? Because that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You just start cold calling. I didn't have a territory. You just start, you start cold calling, going to events, meeting people. You just build a territory. So it was a great thing, and some of my best friends still work at the Business Record today that I know and love and cherish so much. So yeah, I miss my Business Record family.
What's the biggest advice you'd give to salespeople out there?
Oh gosh, don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. I loved a cold call, which is so weird. Nobody likes cold calling. I loved a cold call. And I
might have to talk to you after this podcast.
It's so fun. And it's okay to get hung up on. We all do. It's kind of funny. Laugh about it. I just got hung up on. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You got something to tell your family when you get home from work.
Yeah.
Like, look, listen to what happened to me today. So I think that's kind of funny too. But I just, really, I love cold calling. I love building those relationships, asking the questions, trying to, dig deep into how I can help. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to me.
You got to make it fun. If you don't make it fun, if you're in sales and you don't make it fun, you're going to have challenges.
Yeah.
And so you To be in sales, to be successful, you gotta have fun with it. I love that.
You do, and it's a numbers game, just like any sales, right? Again, the amount of work you put into it, just like ballet or sports or whatever you're into, is directly correlated to what you get out of it. So if you want to make $1 million, you got to put the work in, right? So it's simple math.
So you've had a career in publication, and now you've switched. You've been almost exactly 3 years at the West Des Moines Chamber. What made you go from publication to the chamber, and what's the connection there?
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realize there would be such a strong connection, actually, until I landed the role and realizing, we're doing the same thing that the business record's doing, trying to amplify businesses, trying to help them grow, trying to give them some attention, right, so people know about them. So we do the same thing at the West Des Moines Chamber. So we promote our member businesses, our city, our community, our leaders. So there's a lot of parallels, which is so interesting. The thing I love about the West Des Moines Chamber and chambers in general, this world is new to me, never been in this world before, but every chamber is a little different. They solve their local problems. They solve local community problems different. We kind of started with a clean slate because it was myself and one other employee. And so I was able to build a team from scratch, which was really cool. So we now have 6 people, soon to be 7, and 3 interns. But we were able to just say, let's start all over. What are we really trying to do? What are we trying to achieve? It's the pandemic. There's no rules. Nobody's been through a pandemic before. So what do we do now? So honestly, it sounds weird, but the pandemic was a great opportunity for us to just level set and be like, what do our businesses and community need now, today? So we doubled down on our programming. We actually doubled everything we were doing because we felt like our businesses and our community, they needed us now more than ever for somebody to lean on, right? Because nobody knew what the heck was going on. And we didn't either, but we had to be strong and we had to say, we will figure it out together and we're going to be there for you even twice the amount of events. So we lived on Zoom. So, we used to have a lot of events, but we're like, we're going to double them up. We're going to have all these resources and things for people. We're going to start newsletters to try to bring more attention to our member businesses because now everything's online, right? Nobody's in person. So we started doing videos like crazy. We started doing CEO Insights where we interview people on Zoom, kind of like here, right? We started creating the West Des Moines newsletter, the Weekender newsletter, the influencer, the West YP newsletter, the college newsletter, just ways we can try to help tell that story of our businesses, our members. So we just went all in on digital and events online. It was really fun.
You created momentum.
Oh, momentum, there's that word.
There's that word again.
Big time, yeah. And then built a team, so we're all new together, which was a blast. And we're all like a little startup, is what we still say to this day. Let's throw ideas on the wall. If it sticks, let's do it, and let's get rid of the old ideas that aren't working. Let's cancel some stuff too. So it's so fun. I love it. So it's a little entrepreneurial ecosystem is what we have built.
So what has changed today? So that was at the beginning of the pandemic. So pandemic over, you doubled all these things.
Yeah.
Tell us, now that we're face to face, how has that changed all of your activity?
We had to cancel a lot of stuff because we were doing too much. Now that we're in person, now you realize you got to go to a hotel. You got to figure out your lunch. You got to drive there. Suddenly we were like, oh no, we can't do all these events, right? I think we were doing about 200 events a year, honestly, during COVID. Now we only do 150 events and gatherings. So we took away about 50, literally, because you just couldn't do all that much, right? And I don't want to burn our team out because, and I need some little bit of a life. It's okay. I work 24/7 and that's okay. I love it. But so that's what's different now is we kind of said, okay, what can we keep? What can we take away? What's making big impacts? What is not? And looked at our audience numbers, looked at, did a lot of membership surveys. What do you like? What do you don't like? Got a lot of reaction from our member businesses, our board, of course. So we've really been successful. So in these last 3 years, we've won 14 awards. We've created a bunch of new committees. So we have 14 committees that are very active doing different programming. We have a program for pretty much every age group. And that's intentional because we're trying to we want more residences to move here. We want more tourism here. We want young professionals to move here and stay here because our businesses, there's 1.7 job opening for every one person looking for a job. So we need to find talent that moves here. And companies are clamoring for talent. So
Absolutely, and I think we all are. Tell me a little bit about what steps are you taking to get people to move here, and also I know there's a campaign to keep more college students here in the state of Iowa, and also draw people to the state.
Yes. I love that question. So we created a brand new campaign, actually, and it's our talent attraction partners. So we have a talent attraction campaign. We call it the TAC internally. So our talent attraction campaign that we just embarked on late last year, but it kicked off January 1, is a multifaceted talent attraction campaign that includes where we go out to the Midwest to career fairs, telling everybody how great West Des Moines and Iowa is. So we have a booth, we have a table, and we literally go to career fairs, and we have an interactive booth, and so we're attracting a talent to the booth, right? Then we sign them up to our Young Professionals newsletter and our student newsletter, which is very cool. So that's one thing that we're doing in our talent attraction campaign. And this happened yesterday, I think. We also bus students into town. We bus students here from all around the Midwest so they can literally see what West Des Moines like, and they get to go into our member talent attraction partner businesses. So we go to Salmons, we go to IMT, we go to American Equity, we go to Hy-Vee. So we have 10 partners that make this possible. It's really cool. So this happened this week, and these kids are so smart. Everybody is looking for finance majors and MIS, so computer science. So all of these finance, computer science majors, they're so smart, they're so bright, they're like asking questions, very interactive. So that's phase 2. Phase 3 is we are doing a national advertising campaign this summer, highlighting why West Des Moines and why Iowa. So West Des Moines is the 6th largest city in the state of Iowa, the 6th largest. So we're huge, right? So we feel like we have a personal responsibility to amplify also the state as well as West Des Moines. So we're doing a lot of work in that area. So we're doing a national ad campaign. I'm pretty excited about that. So
and all of this is from the chamber.
Yep, that's us.
That's amazing.
Us. Yep, our team of 6, soon to be 7. So, yep.
That's the what West Des Moines has been a growing community for quite a while, and you have some of the business. Mention some of the business. You got Microsoft there. You've got some really nationwide Wells Fargo. You probably a whole bunch of great companies that support the community. And tell us a little bit about some of the business you enjoy working with, and some experiences you've had with these. Because I know you work with restaurants to big insurance companies. So tell us some stories.
Paul, that's a good question. It's like asking me which one of my babies do I like the best. And I love all of our member businesses, and I would be remiss if I just talked about one, honestly, because I love them all. And you're right, we work with small businesses, startups that have one employee out of their basement, to an Athene, a giant corporate headquarters. So I think most importantly, I'm really impressed with the people here and how they want to give back. Our member companies that we work with really closely are very devoted to helping our community, helping nonprofits. They each have ERGs, employee resource groups that do different things to help the community, to uplift the community. And I just think overall, I'm so impressed with how Des Moines is such a welcoming place for all. United Way says, like, per capita, we're the #1 giving community per capita in the nation. That's how giving our companies, our humans are in the city, and same with our members. And interesting. A lot of people go, oh, I don't live in West Des Moines. My business is in Waukee. I can't be a member. I'm like, yes, you can. So 30% of our members are not even in West Des Moines. So that's a huge amount. So they're really all over. We have members in Kansas City, Minneapolis, Chicago. So everybody wants to be part of the growth of West Des Moines. So a lot happening. I've been talking a lot, but you asked me the questions, so I'll give you the answers.
Okay, well, good. That's what we want. So you put a lot of events on it, and your goal is to get businesses together to actually feed off ideas to grow their business and to support the West Des Moines community, correct?
That's right. That's exactly right. That's why we get them together. That social capital is so important.
It is, and it's, we talk about it all the time. It's, it's important, the people you hang out with. And if you get small business people together and large businesses, it's more likely that businesses will feed off each other.
Yep.
And I know you do a big I don't know what you'd call it, a convention or conference with your elite group that get together and get to listen to other businesses around the country.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I think you're talking about the Athene Black and Brown Business Summit. Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes.
That's coming up. That's April 2021. It's at literally Athene's corporate headquarters. So we kind of take over the place for 2 days. Right. We have 70 speakers. We have 12 breakout sessions. We have keynotes. We've got a Mel Essex Award. We also have a nonprofit fundraiser tied to that benefits By Degrees Foundation. We also have Diversity Week that kicks off next week, where we're highlighting 20 minority business owners. The list goes on. Most importantly, and one of my favorite parts of it, is we have a pitch competition presented by Bank of America. And we've given $52,000 away over the last 2 years that we've been doing the summit. And this year we've raised $30,000. Our goal is to get to 50. We'll see if we get there. But so we'll have 8 total pitch contestants that will split a pot of 30 grand plus this year.
Oh, that's
so that's
great.
on April 20. Anybody can join in. We have a virtual option too. You can join us virtually, watch the fun, or you can join us at Athene. We have a capacity of 400 that can watch that pitch competition live and in person. People all around the U.S. are flying in for that, so it's going to be cool.
That is cool.
Yep.
Now, Katherine, with the 5 Degrees Foundation, could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's called a By Degrees Foundation.
Degrees.
By Degrees. So they are in 3 of our Des Moines schools, and they help young, minority, underserved populations be career ready. So K through 12, they literally career ready these kids, give them opportunities and chances to go into hospitals. What would it be like to be a doctor? Go into an architectural firm. What would it be like to be an architect? They start them young about career ready. Why is career important? Why does it matter? What does that even mean, career ready, right? And so they can start placing themselves, seeing themselves as doctors, lawyers, dentists, etc. So it is amazing. I toured their facility, and these youngsters shake your hand like they're a CEO, and they're like 8 years old. And I'm like, wow, hello, Miss Harrington. My name is, I'm like, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, they're like little mini CEOs. So these underserved populations don't have that chance.
Right.
So, and it's also talking to the parents as to why that matters, why a good education matters for a good career, right?
Absolutely. I think that's a great program. And how long has that program been around?
Ooh, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But our local superstars, Black and Bold Coffee, they donate to underserved communities every time they sell a bag of coffee.
Yes.
And so their local give back is By Degrees Foundation too. So Pernell Caesar, who's one of the owners, and Rod, they're going to be at our summit as well as speakers. But
Wow.
yeah, so they're world famous. They're in all the Targets, and they're
Okay.
they're
Oh, that's great.
world famous.
neat.
That
And they're
is
in Des Moines,
neat.
Iowa. I know. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I've heard of them.
Yay!
I have,
Yay! Yeah, we should have
We
them
have.
on. Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
amazing.
They
Mhm.
are.
They got an NFL contract too, so they're incredible.
Yeah, that's great. That's
You know,
great.
you've shared a lot of stories of impact and momentum. I want to hear, and I want you to share with our audience, the Achiever. How have you grown in the last 3 or 4 years? You know, as you've taken the chair of CEO, what has that changed in your thought process, changed in your belief system, changed in your actions? How have you grown?
That's a great question. I'm still the same person. I have a lot more confidence than I used to, and I'm a lot more surprised at what I can achieve. Actually, when I put my mind to it, it's fun to see things that is an idea in my brain, and then we all execute on it, and it is an award-winning program, right, or something like that. So I think I've grown from that regard, just feeling more confident and comfortable in my own skin. There's always things I want to work on, though, and as we all do, I beat myself up for a living. Mm-hmm. I go home and I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I say that, or should have mentioned that, and I've learned that I cannot do that to myself, because nobody's perfect. Even though we strive to be our best, I can't be that hard on myself, because that's going to be terrible for me over time, right? So I've learned to love myself more, and if it wasn't perfect, that's actually probably even better, because life's not perfect, right? Life's messy. Not everything's perfect. So I think I'm learning to have more grace with myself and not be so hard on myself. And that's one thing I've really learned. And I'm working on it. It's a process. It's a lifelong process. Yeah,
well, you're in a position you're shaking a lot of hands and meeting a lot of people weekly. I mean, every day you're out there, and that is a process and when you're trying to be perfect, you can't be perfect.
I know.
And that's everybody. And you're coming from the dance space where everybody tries to be perfect all the time, and a transfer from that into the business world, which can be it can be tough. Yeah. And then we deal with business people. That's a tough space. Yeah. But it's a great space when you get back to the momentum and go in the right direction. It's a lot of fun. And I see that you got a lot of energy and a lot of passion, and West Des Moines is lucky to have someone like you. Oh. And that's what you got to have, someone like you to get out there and keep beating the streets and make it happen.
Yeah, we our little fun internal thing right now. We have a different tagline every week, but the chamber means business, and the West is yet to come. That's kind of our little. Ooh, you guys like that? I test marketed that on you just now.
I did like that.
West. Okay, I think they like it.
I like that.
That was good. Yes. You better go register that.
I know, right? Put it in the trademark it, register.
Yeah. No, this has been a great interview. I appreciate your time and coming out. But and it looks like you've got an exciting year coming up and a lot of things on your plate.
Yeah, always. So yeah, we've got a lot of expansion plans too as our city grows, and as we again try to make West Des Moines the best city in America to live, work, and play. Yeah. We've got some aggressive expansion plans. We are turning 100 years old next year. So as we get into our 100-year anniversary, expect some exciting announcements. So that's really fun. Yeah.
And that's 100 years of the chamber?
Yes. Yeah, not me. Yeah.
Not you, definitely, no.
100 years in the chamber, yes. So and it honestly, I think it takes a team. We've got the coolest people on our team that I could ever hope and wish for. They're loving, caring, hardworking, high standards. They have very high standards for themselves, and all the work we do. So I love being around that energy, that that let's go big, let's go bold mindset. It's momentum. We all kind of help each other build that momentum. Like this, it's like somebody will do something over here, and I'm like, wow, that was incredible. And then so somebody else is like, well, I want to do something really cool over here too. So we all have a lot of momentum, and we all feed off of each other's momentum that we're bringing to the organization and our city and our community and the state of Iowa. So it's pretty cool stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that is.
Now, you also have a podcast yourself, right?
Yeah, we do. So
I
have 3 amazing kiddos, and my daughters and I have a podcast we've been doing for about a year now. It's not nearly this organized, but it's a lot of fun, and it's called What the Fam. It's wherever you get your podcasts. So What the Fam, and it's really just us being our goofy fun selves. It's just lifestyle.
Oh, that's
it's
great.
Us on the phone chatting, kind of. So you get a peek into what it's like for young women to live in different cities, my one daughter, Allie, lives in Chicago. She's a lawyer with a major firm in Chicago. And then Caitlin is an executive with Target Corporation. And then my son's in Milwaukee. He's a special guest sometimes. He's a real estate mogul. So we all just, different perspectives, different age groups, just what's going on in life, and love and happiness. So
that's wonderful.
It's fun.
That's
yeah,
great.
thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I love to see that, part of our show is the health, family, and business, and it's good to see that you combine and have good activities with your family and kids and keep that going. So that's fantastic.
Exactly.
No matter how far apart they live.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Monte.
Yes, that is great.
Well, one question we always like to ask every one of our guests is, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be known for?
Oh, wow. Whew. That's a great question. I just want to be known for doing the best work, making a big difference in the community. I have an inner urge to make a mark on the world. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where I got it. I have this ask my husband, it's this inner drive to make a difference and in the lives of others, in our community. The work I'm focused on is the West Des Moines Chamber, so I want to make the biggest difference I can there for our member businesses, for our community. So I've just got a big urge. What do I want to be exactly remembered for? Most importantly, just being a very cool person and loving and caring about others, and because it's all about relationships. That's really what it boils down to, is people and people caring about people. And when we're dead, we're not going to be like, oh, I should have done that other email. I should have watched that other TV show. No, it's I should have hugged that person. I should have told that person I care deeply about them when I saw them. So making every minute count and just loving other people, caring about them, because that's really what matters in the end.
Yes, it is. Relationships.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful to hear, and I hope our listener, the achiever, hears that make the most out of every minute. That's for sure. Paul, what were some key learnings that you had from Katherine today?
Well, I can tell you this. I didn't know flat feet would be a challenge in ballerina.
Flat feet are bad.
But you think about that, you got to have a spring, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, no, I think momentum. I mean, that's a big thing, and to create momentum takes leadership and passion. And I really think that you have that, and that's why you're making things happen in West Des Moines, and you're in a great position right now because you guys have a good city council and mayor, and you guys can do some really great things in the next few years, and we're looking forward to seeing it happen.
I love it. And our city is the best. Our city council, our staff, our mayor, just absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And we all have that same goal of really making West Des Moines the biggest thing. So no idea is a bad idea. It's like, let's go big. Let's go big. Go big or go home.
Perfect example of a good team. You got team members. You're all in there for the right cause, and that's to move the needle forward. And that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Absolutely. A couple takeaways that I want to reinforce, and make a promise to yourself that you're going to do your best.
Yeah.
And I think that's a challenge to all of our listeners out there. Is you got to make a promise to yourself that you're going to do your best. You're going to build the confidence. You're going to build the skills, and you're going to practice. You're going to do what it takes to get the success that you desire.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got their own passions. Everybody's got their own drive, and you've got to commit to it. And if you don't commit to it, you're not going to make what your potential is. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate you being a part of our show. And Katherine, thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Monte. Thank you, Paul.
Yes,
This was
thank
so
you.
fun. I love this.
Wonderful. Well, thank you to our listeners out there, the Achiever. We look forward to seeing you next time, and thank you for joining us.
And don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and we take your comments. Thank you.